Nick Hart from Backstreet Boys.
Shout out to Boy Band Break.
It's Chris Kirkpatrick here. Shout out to your podcast, Boy Band Break.
Everybody, this is Howie D, and I'm listening to Boy Band Break.
Hi, Ashley Parker Angel here. Huge shout out to the Boy Band Break podcast.
This is Brad from LFO, and you are listening to Boy Band Break.
Hey, what's up? This is Jacob.
What's up? It's Dan.
What's up? It's Trevor.
And it's Eric Michael, and it's time for Boy Band Break, baby. Let's go!
Bam, 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 bam.
Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, my name's Diane.
I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
Welcome back, everyone. Yay!
Woo!
Yay!
Hopefully you're subscribing to us on YouTube.
And if not,
YouTube.com/boybandbreak. Takes 2 seconds to do, and please share with your friends.
And hopefully you're voting for our fantasy boy band draft.
Do you want to know who won for the fantasy boy band draft? Go to our social media pages.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have the winners.
Exactamundo. Also,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Please donate to our Ko-fi so we can go to more concerts. Thank you so much. All right. That would be awesome.
Okay. Sounds good.
What are we talking about today?
Do you want me to say it? Or
today we're talking about.
So we have a podcast, obviously, and
what?
Do you know who else has a podcast? I will show you in 1 second who has a podcast.
Can I say it?
You can say it, Sophia.
Pod Meets World. It's a Boy Meets World podcast.
Yes. So it has Ryder Strong, Danielle Fischel, and Will Friedel from Boy Meets World. So Topanga, Sean, and what was the other guy's name on the show? Eric Matthews?
Yeah.
What happened to Fred Savage? Or
he's still there.
He doesn't want to be a part of it. They asked him. They talked about it in the first episode they did, but he doesn't want to be a part of it. So they're respecting.
Okay.
They're respecting his wishes.
So when Diane and I went to 90s Con, these three were there representing Boy Meets World. So I don't know if this podcast was already happening before then or if it's new now. Does anybody know?
I think it was after 90s Con.
Maybe that would make sense.
It looks like it's pretty new and it just started. Oh, nope.
No, keep going.
Scrolling down. It looks like it started July 7th. So maybe when they were at 90s Con, maybe that's
show for more episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
June
So definitely
15th.
There we go.
So that was the first episode.
after.
It was called
That would make
Introducing
sense.
Pod Meets World. We're sending you back to 1993 when TGIF reigned supreme and Boy Meets World first premiered. Danielle, Will, and Ryder are back to school as they rewatch every episode of the iconic series, sharing memories, behind-the-scenes moments, and all Boy Meets World stories a fan could, I'm assuming, ask. Okay. So that's kind of
It's a good podcast. I like this one as well. I have a few that I listen to. That there's like rewatching shows. There's a Smallville one. There's a Shadowhunters one.
I feel like the Gilmore
There used
Girls
to be
guy does
Saved
one.
by There used to be a Saved by the Bell one as well.
Yeah,
We used to. What happened?
They stopped doing. No, they stopped doing it because
Screech.
Oh,
he ended up dying
I
from
don't think he did.
prison. But
no, I think Mark Paul Gosselaar just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so it looks like they had originally started that they were going to kind of rewatch episodes, but they also bring back guest stars and talk about different things. So that's
So the next one is they're going to talk to the mom.
Oh, okay, very cool.
I mean, good concept because these are all things that like you don't know what happens behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, so a lot of cool behind the scenes stories. It was pretty interesting. They had a very interesting panel at 90s Con, so it was good. You can tell that they kind of like get along and have a good time. So so that was good. So anyway, so the one we are talking about today came out on August 29th. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you listen to anywhere you listen to us, you can listen to them. So
yes.
So it is called Lance Bass Meets World. There's nothing like young love, especially when one of you is a TV icon and the other is in the biggest boy band of the 90s. We're welcoming Danielle's ex-boyfriend, NSYNC's Lance Bass, to relive their relationship in a very special prom night. You read that right. They went to prom together with matching teased hair. They dated for a year, and she thought it was going to be her. Until, spoiler alert, he said bye via telephone, most likely a flip phone.
Oof.
And now they're still close friends and exclusive, turning that prom into a movie. Put on a tux and boutonniere because you want to miss this reunion. So there you go. So
when it comes out, we can review it for the podcast.
That would be excellent. So
go.
it's currently they did talk about it pretty much right off the hop that they're in the process of making this. It's being written by some people that I've already forgot their names of, but it sounds like it'll be a good time. So it's kind of like, so I don't know if it's actually supposed to be them or if it's going to be like characters like them that.
Yeah, because I'm like, spoiler ending, he's gay. Like, I mean, how are they gonna do that? Right?
I feel like it's actors.
That's the point of this whole thing. So,
gonna play, and then they're just there to like consult about what happened.
what happened to the Winnebago movie? Is that even like? There's a lot of movies that Lance has on
he
the
was
go.
already working on that. Like I thought that was like
mostly done. Like, what happened there?
I don't know. I don't think there was any
Lance just
sort of
likes to have
date.
a lot of projects.
I mean, he's busy, he's tired.
Busy and he is good. Yes.
Yeah, all right. I get it.
I don't know if there's a video version of this podcast.
There's no video version.
I tried finding it. Yeah.
They only do a snippet of it, so you can see like how it is.
So
It doesn't make sense
they
though, because they're
should-
like, "Oh, your shirt today, Lance," and I'm just like, "What
Right.
shirt?"
I
can
know. I
see
was just
shit.
like, is there a video that I'm supposed to be watching? Because then even on Spotify, if you go to our Spotify, we were early into that you can
Yes.
actually watch the video version of us on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're
there you go.
welcome,
So you can
me.
see these mugs. Yes. So, anyways, so they do post pictures and stuff, I guess.
Mhm.
And I could recall like that prom picture. I'm sure everyone saw that.
Yeah.
picture from back in the day. Do you not remember it?
No.
Yeah.
Remember?
Was it on
This
a People
was
magazine
so
at all?
funny
Before
because
my
like
time.
Lance is like kind of like not touching her in the picture.
Oh, is it like the ghost hug?
Kind of like, yeah, it's pretty entertaining. I'm
Oh,
sure
God.
So I found a BuzzFeed article about this as well. So
But likely we'll have the
check
picture
that
there.
as well. I'm 99% sure that picture is going to be there.
Probably.
So Sophia, did you take notes when you were doing this or no?
I did not take notes.
Okay.
I took 10
But-
minutes of notes, and then I had a vagina emergency that I could not be. This is what happened. Okay, please learn from my mistakes, everyone. Okay?
A vagina emergency.
It was an
Do
emergency.
you want
Okay,
to
for
share?
people who've only listened for the last 2 episodes, I swear this is not normal.
This is
It's about
not
pubes and
normal.
vagina.
I don't normally talk about this. You know, like,
Okay.
okay. So I went to a beach, and I went unprepared. No, it did not go that way.
Okay.
It did not go that way at all. It was a public beach. There were people there.
I know. I was thinking sand in places.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so
That
too.
is correct.
That's an Aaron Lyons song, by the way. It's called Sand. It's like, baby, let's get sand. Places sand
In
just
your
don't
vagina?
belong.
So, okay,
Stop
I
having
went
sex in the
without
beach.
a bathing suit. So what I did was, because this is what I'm smart. I'm
Went
smart.
naked?
No. I took off my pants. I had my underwear on, and then I took off my brassiere. So, because then I'll switch outfits. So then I went into the lake with my
Why
shirt
didn't you
and
just-
underwear.
Oh.
This is what I
Did you
did.
have a backup shirt?
No. So this was
See,
my plan.
normally I would think that if you went with your bra and underwear, it'd be like a bikini.
I probably should have done that.
But I guess bras
I
take
thought
longer to dry out.
opposite. I was doing opposite. I was like, okay,
Okay.
perfect. I'll wear my bra and my pants as an outfit, and then I'll wear my shirt and my underwear as an outfit. So,
So I'm sorry, you wanted to continue the rest of your day in a bra and pants.
like I said, I didn't think it entirely
Okay.
through.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So here's what. So I went swimming and it was a great time. I had a great time, and then I was like, I'm not gonna go around with soggy vagina. I'm going to dry my underwear on the holy shit handle as we drive. Because
Inside the car?
yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm not putting it outside the car. I'm not a
Okay,
weirdo.
obviously, yes.
So anyway, so
Air
then
conditioning fixed yet?
no, we have nature's air conditioning, which is windows.
Okay.
So anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm feeling myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm
So
wearing
sorry,
a bra
this
at
is
the
the
top.
handle like right where your face is? So,
No,
other
like
way-
the
back?
passenger one.
Okay. Because I was just like, you don't want
Not-
like flopping underwear.
Not
in your face.
crazy.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
exactly. So then,
Excuse-moi.
so
Yes.
then, anyway, so then it became an issue because it kept trying to fly out of the vehicle, and I had to keep catching my underwear. And I'm like, this is stupid. I'm just gonna put my underwear on my headrest.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, so I had my underwear on my headrest. So I was like, okay, this is going to dry and there's going to be no problems. And it did dry.
Okay.
Which was fabulous. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to put the underwear back on and continue on with my day. And my husband was like, I advise against this because you're going to introduce sand where sand was not. And I was like, you're crazy. I've shaken it out. Did not all come out. So then Kenny was correct. Sand got into my vagina. And I was just like, I'm itching. Like, what the fuck is happening here? And then Kenny's like, you gotta stay in your vagina. Go take a shower. So then I was listening 10 minutes in and I was like, I can't stand it anymore. And I had to go take a shower. So and then you were
so that entertaining, right?
because and the thing is like, because if I played it while I was in the shower, then I wouldn't be able to make notes because I didn't have a waterproof phone. So then instead, we got into it.
But after the shower,
I was like, where's Shinzia? Let me find Shinzia. I'm gonna peel a hard-boiled egg and eat it because I didn't eat anything. Anyways, long story short, very sorry. I only have 10 minutes of notes.
That's okay.
And don't put on an underwear that has sand in it. Guys,
that's good advice. Good advice.
My mom's favorite picture of us as a child was on the beach, and I was sitting on the thing, and then sand got into my bathing suit, and she's like, oh, I want to take a picture. And I said, hold on a second, I'm trying to get the sand out. And then instead, it's just a picture of me grabbing my bathing suit to try to get sand out. And look at, she's like, this is the best picture ever. I was like, yeah, Mom, no, it's not the best picture ever.
Freaking love it. You poor thing.
Yeah.
So
like, you look hilarious. I was like, I'm glad that you're paying attention to the middle child. Oh, wait, you're not.
I'm sorry, but
there you go.
I'm sorry.
Yes, nope. Always good not to get sand places.
So
it's a good tip.
I thought it was just a saying. I just thought it was a saying. I didn't think it was. That never happened to me in my real life until today. So, yeah.
Water kind of.
So not just a saying.
Okay,
anymore.
so that has nothing to do with this podcast.
Nothing at all, and I'm very sorry that you know that. But just learn from.
I hope you all are still
stupid.
listening.
I can't wait to see what next vaginal
I have
thing
no
you
more,
have for the next episode.
Nothing else. I'm so sorry.
To follow up with last week's episode, we did call my mom to confirm about this person who took the survey with Lydia. It was through Stats Canada. She was approached through the school, and they were looking for people Lydia's age to do this thing. And my mom doesn't think Lydia received anything. Lydia said she got a ruler.
I got a plastic ruler.
And my mom also cannot confirm what the questions were because they, again, took Lydia into a private room to ask the questions. So, and I do remember them going in the dining room.
I do remember that too. And I was just like, I felt so important. I'm like, someone wants my opinion.
It's been 4 years. The person has come to talk to me. But Lydia never told us they were asking about pubic hair. So
I didn't think that it was, I thought this was a shared experience. Everyone had a federal agent come into their house and ask them about their pubes. My bad. I guess
it was not
official.
Okay, well,
Anyways,
there you go. So if anybody would like to look up the stats, we should probably get Paul Ferry to look up the stats for that.
Oh my God, I don't want Paul Ferry to like my pubes.
Okay, moving on to the episode. Boy Meets World.
Sorry, guys. Thank you.
Pod Meets World, Lance Bass.
Okay.
So the thing that I felt was a little threw me off at the very beginning is that they just started talking.
Yeah, like there was
and
no
then I was
intro.
just like, okay, that's Ryder Strong. And I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, excuse me. First, they started off with a very long commercial break.
Okay, you heard that too, right?
A minute and a half of commercials, and I was like, oh.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
Then it was the thing. Then they just started chatting, and then I was like, okay, this is Ryder Strong. But then Will started talking. So it took me a while to differentiate between their two voices because it's been so long since I watched Boy Meets World. I was not a huge Boy Meets World fan. And also, yes. But then I was just like, I really wish she would introduce them so I knew who they're talking to.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I guess we should introduce Lance since we've been talking to him. So she introduced them and then each other. So then I was able to determine whose voices were who. I was like, all right, excellent. So
I guess they were just excited that he was on the podcast. That's why they waited a little bit.
All right, Lydia, let's hear some
Okay, so this is I'm gonna go as far as my notes go, and then we can go into the.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing that Lance said, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm so tired. I dropped my kids off in Miami. Then I went to the Cayman Islands, and I just came back from Italy for a wedding." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude. That's not cool. Just
Okay.
rub it in all of our faces."
Okay, so to clarify, he did not just drop his children off in Miami to random strangers. Michael's is his husband. His parents and sister live in Miami.
Okay, because that's what he
So
meant. He said, I
they
dropped
left
off
the
kids off
kids.
and then I took my family. I'm just like,
So
who the hell left the
Michael's
kids?
parents
Okay.
live in Florida.
okay.
So Michael's parents watched the twins while Michael and
Lance?
and Lance's family went to the Cayman Islands, which I have been to on a cruise ship once. So
Must be fucking nice.
it's nice. You got all the free rum cake you want in the gift shops. They have samples of rum cake.
And
They're delicious.
apparently, because they went, the twins crawled for the first time
Yes.
because they were away.
So they missed that moment. So,
Yes.
Violet did it first, and then AJ was all like, "Oh no, my sister can't beat me." So then he started also crawling. So that's that.
Yes, exactly.
Unsure of if the children went to Italy for this wedding or not.
No, they did
Yes.
not. Why would you take children to Italy? Italy is like, just get the hell out of here. I'm eating a pizza. Leave me alone. Mamma mia. I mean, if I had
We
kids,
went to Italy when we were kids.
yeah, I know. But Italy then and Italy now are different.
Okay.
I feel like, you know.
My friend Erica took her 10-month-old to Italy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're free to travel
Okay, that's a good point. That's a
under
good
the
point.
age of 2. Just strap them on you.
I feel like he doesn't have that money problem. Probably like
Well,
first
obviously
class
not,
for everyone. Okay, so then okay, so they did the Italy. Okay, the kids crawling out. Okay. And then they talked about when Lance first visited the Boy Meets World set.
That was fun. I like that little
Yeah.
story there. So essentially, they had they were doing a live TGIF thing. So Danielle was actually in charge of hosting this TGIF. So all the shows were obviously already pre-recorded. You know, they do the interstitials and the vignettes in between, like in between.
I'm sorry, what are those words you just said?
Interstitial.
What the hell's that?
She said it as well. It's
I
like
don't know what that is.
it's like the little thing that like in between. Like
Is it
in
like
the
that?
commercial
You're
breaks.
watching Disney.
But it's kind of like
Is it
in
that
between.
thing?
So like, oh, you're gonna be next stop is what like so in the commercial breaks they would kind of like
Hey, it's
do like a
Topanga.
little thing. Yes.
Okay.
So they'd be like, hey, and I'm here with whatever. So
Okay,
so because she was pretty much the only girl on the show, they said to her, hey, we want to get a boy band on here. Who do you want?
Backstreet or
Backstreet.
Between Backstreet, yeah.
And she said NSYNC. So they were like, okay, and we'll try to get it for you. And obviously that worked.
I will say,
Because she said that they were
Yeah.
the most popular boy band.
And I knew Sophia would have a thing at this point.
yeah, that was a BS.
All I said was, good thing we're not back in the 90s where we're fighting about this.
That's
So
true.
it's okay.
I will say from an actor getting laid standpoint, NSYNC was a better choice because I feel like Backstreet
Oh my god! I
is too
thought you
pure.
said you were an actor getting laid. And I
No,
was like,
no, no.
"Since when are you an
from
actor getting laid?" I know you
Topanga's
act.
standpoint.
Yes.
But they have Nick Carter and AJ.
Well, but like Backstreet was like a little. No offense, guys. Backstreet is a little bit more refined and prissy, whereas
Like Cookie Cutter, you mean?
Blind and prissy. Okay.
No, I know what you mean.
Standards.
Like
You know what I
in
mean?
terms of like perviness,
yes,
Backstreet Boys are the least sexy. Like they don't have songs about sex really. They
Oh,
do
okay.
Drive.
more,
They're not
but-
banging you on the
They're not like O
man
Town.
pulling out.
if I may remind everyone of their change room that goes up to their chin.
Yeah.
So like they're very like, oh, don't
Oh
look
no! You might see the strap of my undershirt.
They're the most like conservative of all the boys.
Conservative.
at
That's
Okay,
That's a good
the
word.
I'm looking
That's a
for,
good
not
word.
prissy.
'Cause I'm like, I
Okay,
feel like
then
people
it's
look at their-
NSYNC because NSYNC is also not that. Chris made a whole point to say that NSYNC never took their shirts off, but they also had a song called Digital Get Down. So, you know,
There used to be this website. Oh my god, I can't remember what it was called. It was like it was like Hot Guy of the Month Club or something, but it was like boy bands, and you had to like request
Vote.
someone you could vote, right? So we were doing that, and I think it was out of the UK. Oh my god, I wish I could remember what it was called. But anyways, it was Chris's birthday, so I'm like, I want Chris to be in this. So then I like had a bunch of people vote for Chris or do write-in votes, and the guy was so pissed off that Chris ended up winning. And then he was all like, obviously this was rigged or whatever. And then he was so mad. And then he ended up finding like a shirtless pic. Oh, and I was like, I don't want to see Chris. Like, I love Chris, but I don't want him shirtless. But he was just it was like one of these ones who was in the pool, like crossing his arms. And he was just like, but the guy was like so bitter in his little write-up
Yes,
for the month.
he
And
was.
he's like, somehow Chris won and blah, blah, blah. Because like previous months would have been like the the more traditionally hotter boy band members. So, God, I wish I could remember what it was called. I just remember really pissing off this guy. So
Yes,
anyways.
I think I remember.
And then I think he actually ended up stopping his website.
He
after
did,
that.
yes, yeah.
Aw, I apologize.
An unrelated event. Oh my god.
Anyway, sorry.
You ruined this man's life.
my gosh.
Okay.
Oh,
Anyways,
that's
sorry. So, anyways, he okay, so then when he visited the set, he was nervous to meet her.
Oh yes.
And then they're talking about how
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Because he said that he had a crush on her.
Yes. So she didn't know that Lance had a crush on her. And then like in between, so they were filming all this stuff live. So people kind of get together. So because Lance and Justin were younger, they were around her age, they were hanging out with her while the other guys were hanging out with other people and whatever. So that was kind of like, they spent a lot of time on this. So she was just
JC also their age?
No, because she said that people were sectioned off by age.
She said you just kind of gravitate to people kind of closer to your own age, right?
How old is JC then?
I thought JC was older.
Wasn't he in the Mickey Mouse Club with them?
He was, but he was older. Look up.
Wow.
How old is JC Chazaz?
I didn't know that. This whole time I thought he was like their age.
No, he was older than Justin.
How old is JC Chazaz?
I just remember her saying that Chris Kirkpatrick was 10 years older than them.
This is like as old as the hills.
How old is JC Chazaz? He's 46. He's 46.
Okay, so he is a bit older than
So
them.
Chris
Not
is-
a lot, but
As of 2021, Chris was 50, JC was 45, Joey was 44, Lance was 42, and then I guess Justin was like 40-ish. So yeah. So anyways,
he was like 10 years older.
no,
like,
no. Also, JC he's not really social. He's more shy and stuff. Or
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's true.
the whole Lance and Justin are hanging out with Danielle. So then she ends up finishing her thing, and then they end up she ends up actually staying a little bit later because they had something else to finish. So she could have left, but she said she was saying bye to them. So she said bye, and then they all walked onto their bus, and she's like, "Oh damn, Lance didn't ask me for my number. Okay, that's weird." So the bus closes, starts driving away, bus stops. So she turns to go back to her car. Justin gets off and yells Danielle, and she's like, "Oh, okay, it's Justin." And he's like, "Oh, can I get your number for Lance?" And she's like, "Oh, okay, sure." So she gives Justin her number, and then it takes Lance 3 days to work up the nerve to call her.
Yeah.
And left. So she had a missed call from him, and he left a message on the machine, which he then said it took him an hour to write what message he was going to talk to her about with Justin. And then Justin was shouting in the background as Lance is recording this message, saying, "Lance is so nervous," like making fun of him and
Nice
stuff.
wingman. Thanks
So,
a lot.
Like a regular teenager.
Listen, he got the number for him, didn't he?
True.
Yeah.
So I guess. So yeah, there you go. So anyways, so then from that, they just kind of started dating and like by mostly like talking on the phone and stuff like that. So I guess she was around 17-ish, it sounds like. Because then
That's as far as my notes go. So I am useless from this point on.
So I'll just talk about some random. So she was like kind of talking. I might jump around, not in order, because I also don't have notes.
Do you want to go
anyways,
to the note?
We could go to the thing, but I just want what I can remember. So she ends up like, so they end up like kind of like dating, I guess, for a year. At one point he comes to, so obviously she was filming her show and stuff like that. So when they had hiatus, she actually got to go on tour with them for a few days. So
Nice.
like, they would go and she would like go on their bus for like 2 or 3 days and then like fly back. Or near Christmas, Lance ended up coming to LA. So obviously she was still living with her parents. So he's like, "Oh, I want to spend my vacation, my little break with you." And she said, "Okay, cool." And then her parents were like, "Yeah, no, Lance is staying at a hotel, like whatever." She's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense, whatever." So she tells Lance that. And then the next day her parents were like, "It's not fair because Lance is always on tour and like he's always living in a hotel. I want him to feel like he's part of the family. So he can actually stay at the house, but you guys have to stay in your separate rooms and everything." So the parents were like, okay. So the parents did have them there. And
Okay.
Lance's room was in the basement. Her room was upstairs. There was no like hanky panky in the middle of the night type thing.
Uh-huh.
No one
So that,
thought there was.
yeah, so that's like they went, she said they went horseback riding and Lance wore a collared shirt with like leopard print on the collar. And they also, what else did they say? They did a couple of other dates. I can't remember what the other thing was, but I think they went like ice skating or something like that, or they did
Ah,
not in
They
LA.
might-
They would have been. They did something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe
Bowling,
another
maybe?
first date, something
Oh.
like that. So they did some like cutesy stuff there. Then she ends up asking him to her prom because she, even though she was still acting, she's still
Oh,
kind of
there's
like-
one other thing that they.
Yes.
She apparently was living with one of the other girlfriends.
so-
Yes.
That was after.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't. The timeline kind of confuses me there. So
They kind of jump around, so that's why I wasn't sure.
So she guess who she ended up living with?
like
She ended up living with another NSYNC girlfriend.
Joey?
No.
Okay. What? Britney Spears?
No,
Oh.
she would have said Britney. You're not
I
gonna
don't
remember
know
this.
any of their other girlfriends.
Wait,
The only other person who had a girlfriend that was kind of out at this time,
wait. Was
who
it
had a company with
Fu Mosquito Lady?
yes, Danielle Rab.
No.
So Chris's girlfriend, so blonde Danielle. So apparently, when she first started dating Lance, like she went and then Chris was dating Danielle at the time.
Nice.
So Danielle's like, I'm the only Danielle. How can there be another Danielle? Blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
So it was like a whole. Apparently, she was very larger than life personality and out there, so kind of intimidated. Boy Meets World Danielle, but anyway, so they ended up for some reason when she turned 18, she decided she was going to move out of her house and she moved in with her.
Okay.
And which was like May of that year or something, and then then Lance broke up with her and other Danielle was still dating Chris. So like NSYNC was always kind of around. So it was like pretty awkward. So essentially they did the whole prom thing. They went and then like a teen movie,
Uh-huh.
that was kind of what the catalyst was. So they did the whole prom night, like, you know, you
Were they
go to
still dating?
They were still dating, yeah.
Oh,
so they were
okay.
dating at this point.
They got a hotel.
She got a hotel room and all that stuff. And then so then
Okay.
at that point, then Lance realized he may not be into women at that point. So, but he didn't tell Danielle.
Wait,
this.
it wasn't the horseback riding or the leopard print collar?
No, it was other things. So anyway, and then they were also talking about how like at prom they did like the pre-pictures and stuff like that. But she said it was so weird because they went to the one person's house and then and they were supposed to just be like, you know, they got the limo and everything. They were just supposed to take the pictures with the mom, but because it was Lance, like all these people came, like the whole neighborhood came. So he was kind of like mobbed. So he said it was very much like being inside like a Disney movie. Like, you know, like the pop star goes to town to the
cute.
hometown thing, and then everyone's
Okay,
like, "Oh my
that's cute.
god!"
Yeah,
like, you know, right?
that's
So
pretty cute.
I was like, I feel like we've seen that movie like a million times.
Yeah.
That's why I think this prom movie is going to turn out. This can be good. But anyway, so
Yeah.
then like a few weeks after prom, that's when he broke up with her over the phone and did the whole like, you know, we can never see each other because I'm always on the road, blah 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 blah. But she thought it was going well, so she was all upset. So the first person she called was her mom. So her mom's like, okay, whatever, and she goes, well, you've been dating for like a year now. Do you get the feeling that Lance might be gay? And then Danielle's like, no. And she's like, well, you know, maybe that's. So she thought, and other people said this to her after, and she thought they were just trying to make her feel better that Lance broke up with her.
Oh, God bless her.
And not just this whole thing. So for
Because
years,
she was saying that
she
in her
thought
mind,
she was going to marry him.
Yeah.
She wanted to marry Lance. She had visions of marrying Lance. Apparently, Lance was actually on set when Corey and Topanga got married. So she had the wedding dress. So she was like a very like, being like, I can't wear a wedding dress in front of Lance type thing. Or imagine.
She didn't tell him that. She just said it
She
in her
didn't
head.
tell her. She was thinking that. But she was just like, bad luck. So, but yeah, it was like actually really cute. Another thing that I remember from there, which it's probably not going to be in the BuzzFeed article, was so I guess Lance went to visit her on set only like 2 or 3 times. So they remember the one time they were on set was this wedding one. And then another time.
Oh, this was a good story.
Mickey?
Mhm.
No, Donlands from the Monkees.
That's the guy who plays
the
the
short
drum.
one. Yeah, so he was directing an episode. So, and that had nothing to do with boy bands, but it just happened to be the same day that it was Lance and Justin had come onto set. So they were there. And then, so anyway, so he was there. And then, so it was,
They're at lunch.
so Will and Justin were at lunch and they were talking about something. And then Justin's like, oh yeah, we got approached to do like a TV show, like about us, like our band on a TV show. And he's like, yeah, that's not really something we would do. whatever. So then Mickey was behind eating something. He's like, why? Why wouldn't you do that? And he's obviously from the Monkees, right? So that is, and then he's like, and he's just like, I just don't think we're very good actors. Like, why? Is there something wrong with being in a boy band and being on TV and whatever? And he was just like, so Will was like, it was the most awkward conversation that was happening. And Justin was trying to like backpedal and be like, oh, no, whatever. So
make him sweat.
That was funny.
So that was pretty funny.
Because they were talking about how also they were on a few TV shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Apparently, NSYNC was on Touched by an Angel.
Yeah.
And apparently they were like a homeless band or something.
Homeless boy band. That was funny.
Homeless boy band. And then they said somebody else. So we need to look that up.
Oh, yeah, we need to look that up.
Funny, but
add that to the list.
Yes.
Hopefully it's on YouTube.
Probably. So anyway, so they were saying how they were on Sabrina, but they were never on Boy Meets World. And they said because Sabrina had higher ratings and had more female fans, and Boy Meets World had more male. So they said their thing was they had, I believe they think the band was Nobody's Angels, which was a girl group, and they tried to make, so they were on Boy Meets World on another episode where they were at a truck stop, and I think they were possibly homeless as well or whatever. And they tried to, so they're like, so that was the thing. So in pop culture, they tried to like put the people on shows, which obviously is a thing that they did. So Backstreet was also on Sabrina, right?
Yes.
That one I remember.
Yes.
And Howie was on a couple times as well by himself.
Yes. So there you go. So the TGIF, do they have that anymore? I guess they don't, eh?
No.
I feel like all the shows are like edgy now and not like
Yeah.
It used to be so good back in the day.
Let's do reboots of everything and make it dark and evil. Like, Jesus.
Like Sabrina and
like Sabrina was supposed to be cute and campy, and now it's like I'm murdering you.
And the other one, what's the one with Will Smith?
Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
And then there used to be like Saturday shows as well, like Hang Time.
I will say
The City Boys.
What happened is that like cable television was a thing. Right. And like we all subscribe to it. But like now that is like a way of the past. Right. Like now like everyone buys like their subscription to like Crave or
all about streaming now.
Streaming services. Exactly right.
Which
so
is hilarious because we were talking about this a few years ago. So like, oh, nobody wants to pay for cable because it's like, so many channels. You got to pay for every channel, blah, blah, blah. Like we're just going to have Netflix. And then Disney Plus came in, then other things came. So now there's so many streaming services, it's actually more expensive than if you would have had cable before because now everybody's doing everything.
If Netflix just took over everything, then we don't have to pay for one. But people are just like, oh, Paramount exclusive,
stuff, right? So now it's like literally the same thing, but now it's digital. So it's just, I feel like,
it's a lot.
As a society, we've moved backwards. It's kind of stupid.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But has nothing to do with this podcast. So,
but that's what I'm explaining is just like, because back in the day we didn't have choices, right? We just had to like, this is the
there's 5 shows,
WB
on 5 channels.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like that's why like specials made sense because we had no YouTube. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
true.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. Is there anything else you can remember from it, or do you want to just go to?
I wanted to ask about 2 things.
Sure.
One of the things that that Lance talked about. So we talked a lot about how he never thought he would come out as gay because, NSYNC's management, Lou, literally made them like, he's like, he didn't specifically say you can't come out as gay, but he's like, everything that we did was like restricted and managed and whatever. And they had made a point to say that they had to appear single. So they, even if they were dating people, and it's Backstreet has said the same thing. They weren't like allowed to talk about their girlfriends or like in Kevin's case, wife, he was dating Kristen like forever. They were like engaged and stuff and they were like, weren't allowed to talk about it because he had to seem like he was single.
Yeah,
so, exactly. Same thing for NSYNC. But then they were saying that because Danielle was like famous, then eventually they like at first she did have to hide, and they were talking about when she would go to the concerts and stuff.
She would have to wear wigs,
sunglasses, and hats and stuff.
She said she would wear wigs,
disguise herself. And then they were like, "This is stupid. People know who she is." So then they decided, okay, fine, you guys can come out as a couple.
Yes.
And then shortly after, then Britney and Justin came out, but I I don't remember that. And
it was a talk show.
I wasn't an NSYNC fan, so I'm like, maybe that's why
I don't remember it either.
Brittany and Justin being a thing.
Yes.
And maybe that overshadowed Lance and Danielle.
Yeah, probably.
But as a Backstreet fan, I had no idea Lance and Danielle dated. Like, not a clue.
Prom pictures and stuff.
I remember
it was on a magazine.
Yeah,
it must have been on a magazine.
He said it was I can't remember where it was. I can't remember. It was a talk show host. So or maybe like late night with whoever or whatever. So she was actually there.
Jay
I
Leno?
don't know, possibly. I'm not sure if they actually brought her on stage or not, but she said it was really weird because she was backstage with all the other girlfriends. So, and the other girlfriends weren't allowed to say it, but then they said Lance could talk about Danielle and bring her up. Again, as you said, because she was kind of famous. So she felt awkward being with the other girlfriends too, because she was just like, oh, okay, so like I'm cool for them to say, but
well, yeah, because you're famous, because like that's like.
But that's also kind of for the they dated during the time of the Drive Myself Crazy music video.
Your favorite, because it's very Chris heavy.
It's very Chris heavy, and all I knew is that Danielle, which was Chris's girlfriend, was in that video. Allegedly, all the other girlfriends were in that video.
Oh,
and I was just like, did Joey Fatone date the chick from Clueless? Because she's in that video.
But Justin wasn't dating Brittany at the was he dating whoever he was dating? I don't think so.
I have no idea. So apparently it went back and forth. So originally they were going to say, yeah, Danielle can be in the video. And then they're like, no, you know what? It'll take people out of the element of it. And you won't be able to feel the emotion and stuff of this video. You'll just be focusing on the fact that this famous person is in it.
They just put her in like a nurse's outfit.
They decided she couldn't be in it.
Ew.
So... But when they said that, like, I know Danielle was in it, but I have no idea about the others, if like for Justin, JC, and Joey, if their girlfriends were in it or not. And I don't know if Joey dated, because then I was like, that doesn't even make sense because they had the chick from Clueless in there.
But is this something that you found out now, later in life, or that you knew at the time?
At the time, I only knew Chris's girlfriend. I didn't know about anybody else's girlfriend. So I don't know. I have no idea who the hell JC dated. I don't know. So I was going to kind of rewatch the video to see, but so I don't know if she was just making a general sweeping thing about that Danielle was allowed, that Chris's Danielle was allowed.
But you did know in the 90s about Danielle and Lance.
I did know they were dating people.
I feel like I also knew because they were on some magazine.
They were.
So the thing is that
possibly People or J14, something like that.
Because with Chris, it was because him and Danielle had Fu Manskito together.
Yes, they did.
And also, I felt that it was okay for Chris to have a girlfriend because, sweetie, I love you. No offense. No one really cared besides me. And even though I was a Chris fan, I was totally cool with him having a girlfriend. Like, it didn't bother me. I was one of those fans. I'm like, oh, I'm happy that he's happy. Which some people are with regular people, but also like you saw the shit that like Nick Carter's girlfriends went through all the time where people were like,
continue to his wife.
It's a pillow. She's not pregnant.
So anyway, so I feel like with certain members, it was okay for them to have girlfriends because it wasn't as traumatic or whatever than other members.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of because like nobody really gave a shit about Chris and Danielle, and I was like, oh, like when I met Chris and Danielle with the Fu Manskito launch, I made them both bears, like with their outfits and stuff. Like,
cute.
And Danielle was like Chris's Danielle was super nice and whatever, and they kind of like So I don't know. I think it was different, but Danielle Fishel when Lance, I definitely remember the prom pictures because that was all over the news. And
see, and I'm not saying I only found out they dated from this. I think I found it out, I don't know, some other time. But I know before that, I knew that she had taken him to her prom. But I thought it was just like, oh, isn't this cute? She took Lance Bass from NSYNC to her prom.
And that's it.
Nice. I didn't know they were like a couple.
Yeah, same. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
No, I feel like I knew they were a couple.
No, I'm kind of with D on this one where just like, I thought it was just like a publicity stunt, like one thing and then one and done type thing.
I can see that.
But also we had limited technology at the time.
That is true. This is 1998.
Pre-social media.
And also like, I mean, we've talked about this before. This was the 90s. I was very Backstreet focused. Even if he was on a magazine, I would have just seen the cover and been like, ew, NSYNC.
Flip. Yeah.
Flip them around so I don't have to see Lance's face. Where's a Backstreet Boy one? Put it in front.
Right, exactly.
I wouldn't have read the article.
No.
I was a fan of all
But
bands,
sometimes Backstreet was in the NSYNC one, so I would flip through it
they
to
were
see
smart.
the Backstreet
Sometimes
Boys.
they would put the Backstreet on one side and the NSYNC on the other, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So then I had to look
It was
through.
like a People magazine or something. This wasn't like Teen Bop or whatever. Okay, second thing I wanted to ask, and I don't know if this is something you planned on bringing up later, but I'm just going to bring it up now while we have time. So they asked Lance,
to replace Justin?
yes, in the event that NSYNC reunites, who would you get to stand? They didn't say replace. They said stand in for Justin on tour.
What I found interesting about this question is that they didn't say, would you go back together as a four, and Lance didn't even offer.
No, it was just automatically assumed.
He automatically is like, yes,
be
this
there.
is who he would want. So, and you know who the answer is then?
I know
Yes.
who the answer is.
Yes.
I also know.
Yes. Who?
Yeah, Lydia, who do you think Lance
said?
Can we give her a hint of the TV show?
Husband.
No, don't give her a hint.
Okay.
Is it a
Lydia's
musical?
not going to know this person.
Is
so
it
I
a
don't think
musical
really
person?
matters.
Oh, okay.
It is a person.
I'm
who
just
sings.
curious who you think in your head Lance would say.
Yes.
Because this was not the when I heard it, I was like, oh, it makes sense. But it's not a person I think I would have thought Lance would say.
I think automatically you think of boy band, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so it's not a boy bander. Okay. And it's a dude, not a lady.
It's a dude.
It's
Okay.
a man, yes.
Okay.
From a TV show.
Okay, hold on. Give me a
You're
second
not
here.
gonna-
Wait. I mean, I might. What'd you say, Kenny? Kenny said Michael Bublé.
No.
That would take away. Yeah, good guess, but no. Okay.
You have to keep in mind, and I also heard them talking about this on the radio, and they were doing the same thing. The one guy knew who it was, and then he had everyone else in the room guess who they thought Lance would say.
Mhm.
And then they were doing what you're doing, which is trying to narrow things down. And they're like, well, it can't be someone who's way more famous than them because
Agreed.
it will take away from their thing.
Of course.
Right. And it also can't
Sadly
be
known to
someone
Carter.
they determined it couldn't be someone who was more talented than Justin Timberlake because then it would be like, fuck you, Justin Timberlake, we don't need you.
I feel
Yeah.
like they should do that.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
Lydia, you're literally
Ricky
not-
Martin.
You don't know this person. so-
I don't think you're gonna get it.
Okay, is it like a sport guy?
It's somebody from Glee.
Oh, he's dead.
Not that guy.
No.
Okay. Is it the wheelchair man?
No.
Is it Drake?
No.
He was in a boy band.
Drake was not in Glee.
Drake was on
He's in a
Degrassi.
wheelchair. Degrassi.
That's Degrassi.
Okay. Okay. He was on Glee.
He's
Oh.
done stuff with boy banders before.
Okay. Is it the nerdy guy?
I don't know. I never.
He was on
The guy with
Broadway.
Glasses who was in a wheelchair on Glee was in a boy band.
Oh, I didn't
It's
know.
not him.
That. Okay. Oh, is it the lesbian?
It's Darren Chris. Who the fuck is Darren Chris?
Who the fuck is
Exactly.
Darren
I knew
Criss?
Lydia would not know this answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna Google Darren Chris.
He's done.
So you can
musical
see my
stuff.
live
I think
reaction.
Yeah, he's been on
Los Angeles.
Broadway.
He's been on
He's
Broadway.
not ugly.
Yeah.
Darren Chris. Okay. Darren Chris.
Yes,
okay, I
that's
spelled it wrong.
He has a nice
Who the fuck
voice.
is this guy?
He did that the Christmas with Lance and Chris. Didn't they do am I thinking it's a different person? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, or
No, I don't think so.
Archuleta?
David Archuleta. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Lydia, you don't know Darren Chris.
I mean, he's got a beard. That's nice. I mean, yeah, I could see him shirtless.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah. Okay,
He did.
not
He
this one.
also did a cover. They were playing when they were talking about this on the radio. Then they played a little clip of Darren Criss singing this slow acoustic version of "Bye Bye Bye," and it was really interesting. But, anyways,
I think I'd rather them go the O-Town route of just.
I was gonna say. So, do you think that Lance is correct? That's a good pick, or do you think they should pick someone else?
I will say this, even in the LFO realm as well. Like, it's hard to replace someone who's already been established, right?
Well, that's why I like the Spice Girls and O-Town and stuff like that. When they lost members, they still continued as a 4-person team.
And it's fine. I mean, because like you really, that's the best part about being a 4-person team is that you can take on, take off, right?
What was that other band? It was a rock band. Was it In Excess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had not Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about Queen replaced the guy
Freddie
from,
Mercury?
yes,
They
with
did?
Adam Lambert.
Mm.
And
In
in the
Excess had a show.
in the podcast, don't they say that similar to how John Mayer is filling in with the Grateful Dead?
Yes.
Mm.
So, and I feel like it's kind of similar because, like, with Queen and with the Grateful Dead, the singer is the person who's missing. So you can't be like, we're going to continue as a band and not have a singer.
Right.
Right?
They're all singers, though. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Is Lance and Chris and Joey are lovely,
Yes.
but they cannot sing Justin's parts. So
There's
then
no Howie of the team.
JC sing all of Justin's parts plus his own parts. You kind of need someone to stand in.
Yeah.
Because Lance cannot. Lance is a bass singer, right? So it's down to Chris and Joey, and like
Chris is a higher. And Joey.
Chris makes the most logical sense, but like, can Chris do Justin's parts?
No.
Probably
He ain't got the swagger chin. Sorry. I mean, JC is the only one that makes sense, but then he's going to be singing up there the whole time.
Yeah.
I just, oh man.
I'm not crazy.
But
In
like,
Excess had a TV show, and JD Fortune is the one who took over.
it's just, it's hard, man. Like, cause like, who's gonna beatbox? JC can't
Nobody
do that.
needs to beatbox. That was a stupid part of their.
It was an ethnic part that was needed at the time, Shinzia, for street cred.
Okay.
That's how do you think Justin Bieber got to where he got? He had melanin street cred.
Okay.
Usher, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Moving along, would you like to know who Danielle thought should be the other member of NSYNC?
Oh, go ahead.
T-Pain.
I could
That's
see
an
that.
interesting combination.
But circling back to not having anyone at all and just doing the four of them, T-Pain is going to sing Justin Timberlake's part?
I just feel like it would change the sound a lot.
I know where she was going with this, and I will explain to you why. Do you guys remember that boy band that was the fake one?
Together?
No, the one that T-Pain was in. He was in that boy band. Remember they sang that song? I just said that.
Oh, Lonely Island?
Yes, Lonely Island. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
but was T-Pain?
Yeah.
In I Just Had Sex?
Yeah, he was the guy.
Throughout the career as a singer, T-Pain popularized the creative use of auto-tune pitch. Okay.
Yeah,
I just think of T-Pain as like.
Why can't I think of his hit song?
No, that was Akon.
I don't think it's
Lydia.
T-Pain.
Excuse me. I am very incorrect. But what about the guys from Lonely Island? I mean, they would love.
The guys from Lonely Island, Andy Samberg is like the main guy.
Oh
I mean, I'm sure
because he's less famous than JC.
I just feel like it would be more like a joke, though.
Andy Samberg is way more famous than everyone except for Justin Timberlake.
Oh my god.
Perfect match.
He was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He had a whole TV show that he was like the star of. He was on Saturday Night Live. Like,
I feel like that's like having Adam Sandler join NSYNC.
To imagine, I would be.
I think Andy Samberg would fit in. I don't know if he can sing actually that well.
Well, they were a duo, weren't they? There was like the little short man. Who's that guy?
I think what logically actually makes more sense if you're going to go that route of like it being like funny and having someone stand in, then you do like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Fallon is
besties
too
with
famous.
JT. He's bestie with JT. He wouldn't do it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Then it would be like Justin approved because like he's Justin Timberlake's best friend essentially.
I like my idea better. That was a good idea. And yes, Brooklyn Nine-Nine was popular, but not super popular.
Still on, is it?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine ended last year.
Who's got time?
Yeah,
all right,
maybe.
Lance, if you're listening to this podcast, think about what I.
Well, he wants Darren Criss, which I think makes sense. I think it's a good choice.
Vocally, that would make sense. I think.
And
he has a nice voice.
He thinks Darren Criss would do it. Like he's like, no question, he would do it.
Why wouldn't he?
So then I think he kind of said, now just talk to JC or whatever. But
yeah,
he's dragging his feet, man,
as usual.
But yes, I don't know. Chris and Joey still sound lovely together. Go find footage on YouTube.
I mean, and then there is the element of like, do you get another boy bander from another boy band to fill in? But then
because like O-Town LFO.
Okay, first of all, no one from Backstreet is going to do it.
Never. No, they would never.
They would not.
By principle alone, yeah.
Just one straight principle.
He can't go to his own boy band. He's going to go to your boy band. Get out of here.
Plus, they don't have the time.
Yeah, they don't have
the scumbaggy part of that is that do you break up another boy band that's like, say you try for someone from 98 Degrees or like O-Town or Westlife or whatever, those are the ones that are trying to like revive. Do you like screw them over even more by being like, haha, we're poaching one of your members for NSYNC? Like it seems like it's kind of against some kind of like boy band code.
What do you think would go into NSYNC?
CJ. Got him. Okay.
I haven't actually talked about
He can sing. So
DJ is lovely.
He doesn't got the pull. He doesn't got the.
He definitely doesn't have the pull. Pretty sure nobody knows who he is. From 3 Deep, in case anyone was wondering.
Yes.
It's a Canadian boy band.
We know.
Only one was Canadian.
Might not know.
Because like, okay, let's just say they're like, we're gonna get Ashley Parker Angel, right? Like, is that scumbaggy to O-Town?
No,
because
O-Town would write another song about that, and it would be a great song. Because O-Town are excellent songwriters. So
because like, I'm thinking,
would you say it's shady business to do
O-Town's like, we're good, we don't need Ashley, right? And I think Ashley would do NSYNC because like obviously that would be, no offense to O-Town, love you, you're beautiful. An NSYNC tour would be 100 times more successful.
Why don't we just get Dan? He will leave O-Town to do.
Oh yes,
more. That's even more scumbaggy because now you're screwing over Eric, Jacob, and Trevor even more than they're already like screwed over.
Yeah,
so O-Town stops touring, and then Dan can go for a little bit.
Oh, and so Eric and Trevor and Jacob just sit on their hands while Dan goes and like, but no, that's so scumbag. That's such a dick move. True.
You know what? I'm pretty sure Trevor would be in the front row, very excited to see the concert.
No, I just
Trevor gets very excited around everyone.
That's mean.
Yeah,
yes, it's mean, but.
You either take all of them, like you say, okay,
all or nothing at
all.
NSYNC O-Town tour, and then have because they can all sing, you have them individually fill in for Justin, like wherever it makes sense.
Okay.
But then it's not the NSYNC tour. Then it's the NSYNC O-Town tour. Like it's not
NSYNC O-Town, which I believe I came up with that name years ago.
Yes, you did. I was trying to think what you said.
I feel like you can't do that. You can't do, if you want it to be NSYNC, you need one person.
O-Sync.
Right? And you can't break up O-Town. You can't go to 98 Degrees and be like, we're taking Nick Lachey, peace. Like,
Yeah.
We're not breaking them up. We're just being like, hey, you're done touring.
What if they were doing like a couple of one-off shows, or like they were doing a 1-month residency in Vegas? That isn't as scumbaggy because you're just doing the 1 month.
No, of course.
Right.
It's not like Chris has obviously done, Chris and Lance have done things with them. So it's like, okay, we're just repaying the favor. But do you think O-Town is your first pick for people? Like, I kind of think if you're going to go that route, then you go more a Nick Lachey route.
I just feel like I'm trying to like wrap my head around whose voice sounds more similar to Numbnuts. Like, and do you want to have somebody who sounds similar to him?
Yeah.
And you want to have someone, so you wanted to kind of just make it so it's not about
the whole thing
about blend it in
NSYNC is it's a harmony group. You can't have someone who doesn't fit in the harmony. So it needs to be someone who kind of sounds like Justin.
I have a suggestion. What about a Justin Timberlake impersonator? So that way, when Justin feels ready, this guy just steps off, be like, thanks for the money. And then he steps back in.
Do they have them? Do you know what I think is really strange? And I don't know if it's just based on TV shows or whatever, but it seems that the UK has a lot of impersonators. And I just feel like it's not as popular here. But I'm like, is it actually big, or is it just anytime there's a UK show or whatever about they just happen to follow around? Like,
there is a lot of Adele impersonators.
There's impersonators, there's lookalikes, and there's ones that sing as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I feel like that's a thing in the UK. And I'm like, is it a thing in the UK, or is they just trying to like make us think it's a thing?
It is a thing. Yeah, it's not a thing here. I feel like
there was like a I don't know, a show on Netflix or whatever, and it was like I can't even remember what it was called, but it was all like the celebrity impersonator. Like it was an agency that brings them out.
Yeah. So it doesn't vibe here because, and I'm mostly speaking from my experience of watching reality TV shows. It's mostly they're like, we want to see you. Who are you? I know you're impersonating Pink right now, but who the hell are you? We want to see that person. Like that's more encouraged in North America, whereas UK is like, oh,
just dress up a little queen.
Yeah, are you a queen impersonator? You know, or just like, oh no, me as a doe. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. So Darren, Chris, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know who looked a lot like Justin Timberlake and is also named Justin?
Ooh, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber looks like Justin Timberlake.
No, I was confused.
That would be interesting.
Justin Bieber is not going to do it. Justin Bieber's
more famous, right?
The Justin Bieber tour with 4 old guys. Like nobody would give a shit about.
Bieber's would buy all my tickets. Oh shit! How is he doing? Did his face ever clear up?
No,
he's fine. He's touring in Europe now. He's
okay.
He's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It went away.
Congrats on your recovery, Justin Bieber.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
God bless.
Maybe they get someone from One Direction, but is that?
I was bringing up a band, but it's already broken up.
It's already broken up, but who would they get? Because Harry Styles is.
Well, you can't get Harry. That's ridiculous. But like anyone
he's
else,
like the Bon Jovi.
Do they want to do that though? I don't know.
The problem with One Direction, who I love dearly, they do not dance.
Yes.
Oh, good valid point.
Big problem. Yeah.
Sorry, back to the looks like Justin Timberlake, or used to look like Justin Timberlake. Do you guys remember Justin Guarini, who was like of American Idol?
Yes.
Justin Timberlake. Did you guys?
He was the runner. Yeah, I watched it. It was bad.
He looked kind of like Justin back in the day, and he can sing.
True.
And he's not doing anything. That was
definitely not.
Clay Aiken doing anything?
Other dudes.
What does that have to do with anything?
I was just thinking of that show, American Idol, and then
you think Clay Aiken's?
No, I don't think
doesn't fit in that.
He definitely.
I like your suggestion, Dee. The Justin, they're already named Justin.
Justin.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Sync with Justin.
Not that one.
I am going.
Okay, can we please
share
look over, because I feel like we went way
it's
up.
been an hour. This article is just summing it up. Is it not?
I have no idea. I have not actually read this.
Okay, so we're gonna
we'll
we're gonna read just the things in bold.
Boy Meets World star. Can you see it? Danielle Fishel and Lance Bass reflected on their year-long romance, revealed they're turning the relationship into a movie.
Okay, so that is the whole episode.
Yep. Okay, so he was 16 when he was in the boy band. 4 years later, he was dating. Okay, So he was like 20 and she was 18. Okay. So that's them together.
Cute.
Where it looks like there's a third person in the picture, but they're just standing in front.
Is that the guy with
they
the
went to the
woodchuck
movies.
puppets?
That's what they did for their date.
Is that the Uncle Jesse, the other guy with the woodchuck puppet?
No.
Dave Coulier, no.
That's not Uncle Joey.
Slight Dave Coulier look.
Okay,
but
sorry.
yes.
Whoa, nice nips. Okay.
Okay. So 2 weeks, the two stars enjoyed a year-long relationship. Lance was even Danielle's prom date at her Calabasas High School. But just 2 weeks after the dance, he abruptly broke up with her. So this is him
That's the ghost
not
hand.
touching her back. And whatever. So here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they kind of talked about how that's like a big thing in the States. On prom
Ghost
night,
hand?
you lose your virginity. All that shit.
Oh,
Go to the hotel. I was like, is it or is it in movies?
I thought it
don't
was a
know.
movie thing.
Anyways, there you go. So Danielle was even open about how devastated she was by the split and even admitted that she thought Lance was the man she was going to marry. She has butterfly.
Oh,
Very cute. Lance continued to exclusively date women until he was 22 years old, but in 2006, 4 years after NSYNC went on hiatus, Lance came out as gay in the cover story of People magazine, which if you scroll back, if you go check out our LGBT episode, we talk about this and actually read the article. So there's Lance. His decision to open up about his sexuality came amid mounting speculation, with Lance being pictured at gay bars and clubs by the paparazzi in the weeks leading up to the interview. That is his boyfriend at the time, Riken. In fact, celebrity gossip blogger Perez Hilton was questioning it since September. So,
Daniel Perez.
Speaking to People, Lance said at the time, the thing is, I'm not ashamed. That's the one thing I wanted to say. I don't think it's wrong. I'm not devastated going through this. I'm more liberated and happy than I've been my whole life. I'm just happy. So,
all right, good. That's good.
Then he's married to Lance, and that's their baby.
Lance is married to Lance?
He's married to Michael Turpin. They got married in 2014. They had their twins were born last year in October. So this is where we get to the podcast. So this
we
week,
get one
Lance,
screenshot.
Reunited with the ex-girlfriend Danielle for an episode of her podcast Pod Meets World, where he spoke candidly about the strict image management he faced while in NSYNC. So this is the shirt that she was talking about. So
Now I get to see it. Thank goodness.
Okay, that is Ryder Strong, and that's Will. So the singer admitted that he didn't think he would ever be able to act on being gay, and that his management and record label laid down the law what he could and couldn't say and do in public.
Okay.
Classic picture with Papa Lou.
Aww.
There you go.
We paid for that pizza.
Yeah, probably. Discussing the breakdown of Lance's relationship with Danielle, her podcast co-host Will Friedel asked, when you broke up with her, had you told yourself yet that you were gay? So that was the question. And so he hadn't. So she didn't say this. Not really, Lance began. I knew it was something that I didn't want to think about. I had realized that, yes, I wasn't into girls, but also in my head, there was no way I could ever act on being gay. As you know, he grew up a very religious small town, and there you go. It was like, this will just not be a part of my life, he went on. You trick yourself into thinking that you're always going to be in the closet, and you'll meet someone that you can be in a relationship with, and you'll live that lie like so many people have to. So about people who get married to opposite sex.
Like beards.
Yes, right? So...
Aw, look how happy and cute they are.
Yes. In direct reference to the control his management team had over his public image, Lance revealed he wasn't even allowed to talk about his love life, so fans would think that he was available. At the time, that was definitely the message I was getting from my management, my record label, he said. They disguised it in a way. If they knew that I was gay, then they wouldn't say, hey, if you're gay, don't come out. They'd always disguise it like, people look up to you, so you can't have a cigarette in your hand. You can't be seen with a drink. You can't be seen with a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So they were kind of laying down the law for us, Lance went on. So I knew that being out gay was definitely not going to be an option.
Aww.
Reinforcing just how intense the situation was, Danielle recalled wearing a wig when she went to watch NSYNC in concert, commenting the image management was just insane. But Lance and Danielle also remembered the groundbreaking moment when management finally allowed him to confirm that they were dating, while the other four members of NSYNC still had to keep their relationships a secret. Lance and Danielle were less able to stay under the radar because she was equally recognizable as a celebrity. And Lance explained the fans knew. When Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears started dating, like the fans know. At some point, you can't insult their intelligence anymore.
Yep.
And you can't just pretend and pretend. At some point, you have to come clean.
Yep.
Danielle admitted to feeling guilty that the other girlfriends weren't able to be spoken about. But as a result, they were able to play their partner's love interest in NSYNC's I Drive Myself Crazy music video, while Danielle wasn't. At that point, her co-host Ryder Strong commented, "There's so much image management going on, it's crazy." It was getting so much easier back then because you could stay hidden, Lance said of NSYNC's heavily controlled publicity. We forgot to bring up this point, but this is true. So it says there was no social media, no one had a camera on their phone, so whatever story you told the public, they just had to believe.
Yeah, true enough.
True.
He went on to confess that he thinks he'd have been able to be much more open about his sexuality if NSYNC had become famous in more recent years.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Now you've got proof every step of the way, so you can't hide yourself, he explained. So I think that's why so many people are able to come out sooner and live their real life.
Yeah.
Because authenticity is key and everyone can see right through it.
Whoa! Is that guy wearing a harness? Nice.
That man is wearing a harness, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Good job, Lance.
During the chat, Danielle revealed that several people, including her mother, had speculated about Lance's sexuality after he dumped her, but being gay was much more taboo topic in the 90s, so she didn't believe them. Remember this photo shoot? They're freaking wearing jeans in the water.
No, I don't remember this. No.
Other people said to me, Danielle, Lance is gay before Lance did, and they were trying to tell me, like, if you can't see it, that's what's going on. It was such a thing back then. Lance was so private about it, you were forced to be in a closet, she shared. Even for me, someone saying to me, it's actually that he's gay, I was like, well, no, that's not possible, because it wasn't as accepted. It wasn't as common. It was like everyone was saying that, so I would think it wasn't about me. Right? Lance ended up telling Danielle about his sexuality a year after he broke up with her, and the two have been incredibly close friends ever since.
Aww.
In fact, Danielle and Lance's shared experience is so unique, the two stars revealed they're working on a movie about their whirlwind relationship and prom experience. The former couple met on TGIF, where they hosted the live show where Danielle acted as host and the live band performed. Danielle requested NSYNC over Backstreet Boys, and Lance was so nervous to meet Danielle after landing the gig because he had the biggest crush on her. Despite flirting through the show, so this is talking about Justin getting the
phone number.
Okay,
ran off the bus.
Then that was the voicemail. And they spent an hour saying what they were going to put in the voicemail. As the relationship blossomed, Danielle went to Mississippi. She went at Christmas to Mississippi to spend time with his family and would also use Boy Meets World's hiatus breaks to join NSYNC on tour.
Cute.
He was also her date to her senior prom at her high school, and Danielle admitted she was mortified when his attendance sparked fanfare at the school. I should have thought it through better bringing him. It was my high school, and I was no big deal at my high school. They were all the same students I went to junior high school with. They were with me all 6-7 years of Boy Meets World. It wasn't a big deal. So in my mind, when I was bringing Lance, it was just going to be another not a big deal. It didn't register to me that, of course, bringing Lance was going to be a massive story in the school. How the entire neighborhood and every student's parents attended the prom party that she and Lance went to. But Lance insisted that he was excited to go to prom, having missed his own, but added, of course, in the back of my mind, the whole night was, what's going to happen when we get to the hotel after this? Because I know what happens at prom in the hotel. The pair then explained to listeners that it was normal for seniors to book a hotel room with their dates on prom night, and the majority of girls in high school lost their virginity on prom night. Lance and I had a very wonderful, warm, loving relationship, but it was completely lacking intimacy. Intimacy in the romantic sense. We shared all of our feelings. We shared our family stuff. We were very intimate emotionally, but we weren't physically intimate. Lance and I had a hotel booked, and I had a vision for what that night was going to be. And Lance was very nervous about what my vision for that night was going to be. She went on.
Oh.
So that's really the night where Lance started talks about feeling like he was hurting me by not being honest to himself or with anyone else about what was going on in his life.
Oh.
Lance explained so many people in the LGBT community, their prom night was the night where they're like, oh, wait a minute. This can't happen anymore. I can't do this anymore. This was the catalyst that made me start to accept myself, which took a long time after that. But it was definitely the first little straw that broke.
Oh.
Within 2 weeks of prom, Lance broke up with Danielle and used the distance with his commitments with NSYNC as the reason. I thought I was going to marry Lance, Danielle admitted. I had envisioned our future. When he broke up with me, I couldn't escape it. I held on to hope for way too long that Lance and I were going to get back together, get married, and have a family.
Aww.
Lance is still a great love of my life, she concluded. It is not a romantic love, and it was never a romantic love. I had hopes for it to be, but it was not. Didn't matter that Lance was gay and that I was not going to end up marrying him. We have maintained a friendship through all these years.
That's good.
Aww.
We can still be friends after all that.
Yeah, that's
so
super
there
sweet.
you go. So Very sweet, very cute. It's a fun interview.
Yeah, good interview.
Ironically shorter than this recap. So, as they generally are. But yeah, so if you want to take a listen, it's called Pod Meets World, Lance Bass Meets World. So there's
Cute.
So, yes, very
It's a
cute
good one.
stories. And actually, it sounds like a good podcast. I think I might start listening to other.
It is a good one. You should.
The chemistry of them is all really good. So I enjoy that.
That's super
There you
sweet.
go.
It's nice to look back on something that was important to them back in the day.
You got it.
So if and when this movie comes out, we will watch it and we will give you guys a recap.
You
for that.
betcha.
Yes. Because that's what we do.
All right. Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.